The year I was the hungriest, I worked for Luke, copying his class notes for a meal a day. After I graduated college, Luke Dawson came looking for me. 2 million. Come over. Be my fiancée. Back in high school, my mom refused to give me money, not a cent. She said if I had the nerve to insist on going to school, then I should have the guts to find food too. I still went, with just 200 yuan I had secretly saved. That 200 yuan barely got me through half a month. When it ran out, I just drank water. Our classroom didn't have a water heater yet, so I filled my stomach with cold, purified water. It was fall, and the chill made it feel like my gut had frozen over. I could hear the water sloshing in my stomach when I moved. I was starving for 3 whole days, 14 years old, and so hungry I wanted to bite everyone I saw. Even the weeds on the roadside looked like something I should taste. Just as I was about to faint, Luke sat down next to me and started eating. I stared at him. He turned his head and caught my gaze. I didn't move, just kept my eyes locked on his food. He got so creeped out, he finally whispered, "Wanna share?" My eyes lit up. "Can I?" He let out a breath and nodded. "Go ahead." My mom packed too much anyway. Luke later told me the look in my eyes back then didn't seem like I wanted food. It looked like I wanted to eat him. He was so scared. He felt giving me the food was the only way to save his life. I worked for Luke for a long time, copying notes in class, cleaning his desk after school. I didn't get much in return. A meal, maybe 2. He'd bring an extra lunch every day and give it to me. I'd split it into breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and still go hungry. Luke started giving me his snacks. "This is beef jerky. My mum brought it back during the New Year. It should still be good." I took it, chewed and chewed, couldn't chew through. Chewed some more. "This is a mooncake from Mid-Autumn Festival." I took that too, 5 nut filling, crunchy. Chew, chew, chew. "These are digestive tablets my mum bought." I hesitated, then tore the packet open. Chewed them too. Luke handed me food in class, and I ate it in class too. One day, after class, he stared at me, wide-eyed. "You finished both boxes of digestive tablets?" He looked like he'd lost all hope. "Jennifer, am I going to end up feeding you to death?" I didn't know if he could feed me to death, but I was definitely starving to death. I lived off the food Luke brought me for a long time. Then came the National Day holiday. At first, I planned to go home, but the moment I arrived, my mom grabbed me by the collar and dragged me out. She wouldn't let me stay. She said if I had the nerve to go to school, then she didn't recognize me as her daughter anymore. Other girls my age had already gone to work in Guangdong, but I was too pampered. If I was so capable and disobedient, then I could support myself. Might as well never come home again. I sniffled and stood awkwardly at the door with my backpack. The smell of stewed chicken drifted from inside. The front door was wide open. My mom brought out the chicken. My siblings fought over it. My little sister clutched a piece of chicken and glanced at me. My mum slapped her. "Eat your food." "What are you looking at her for?" She froze and sat down quietly. I lowered my head. The dim light in the house stretched my shadow out long. Even my shadow looked dejected. Then my mom shut the door, and the light was gone. I hugged my backpack and walked away. I spent that night at the train station. The next morning, when I woke up, I saw Luke. He was about to go on a trip with his parents. He looked up at the ticket gate and jumped when he saw me. "What the hell are you doing here?" "My mom won't let me stay at home. It's warm here." "Jesus, that's your real mom?" "Yeah." Luke didn't get on the train that day. I don't know what he said to his parents, but they left on the train and he stayed behind. After they left, he came back and looked at me, sighing. "Come on, let's go to my place." He walked ahead. I quickly strapped on my backpack and followed. Luke was 2 years older, tall with long legs. I had to take 3 steps for every one of his. After 2 steps, he turned, took my backpack. I looked up at him. He met my eyes and smiled. Jennifer, I must be cursed. I was supposed to be at the beach right now, and here I am carrying your backpack. I'm sorry. Whatever. You hungry? Starving. All right then. Lucky for you, Big Bro still got money. Let's go eat. I stayed at Luke's place for 7 days. His home was nothing like mine. My family had 4 kids, one crying, one screaming. We were all crammed in one room, total chaos. Luke was an only child. His house was spotless and beautiful. The neighborhood had gardens, elevators, guest rooms, flowers on the balcony. Only downside? No food. I woke up starving in the middle of the night and couldn't find a bite to eat, not even digestive tablets. Eventually, I set my sights on the little orange tree on the balcony. I stared at that tree for half an hour. Then Luke passed by and let out a shriek. Holy shit, a ghost! I froze and looked back at him. He squinted. Wait, Jennifer, what the hell are you doing out here? He looked again. Oh, the oranges. Just pick one if you want it. Luke was so freaked out he nearly cried. I cried too. I hugged that orange like a treasure. It was delicious. So sweet. The next day, Luke took me grocery shopping. Bought snacks too. He warned me over and over. Jennifer, no more lurking on the balcony in the middle of the night with the lights off and your hair down. It's creepy. I nodded like crazy, eyes sparkling. He caught my gaze and paused. Then he laughed. Let's go home. That night, I cooked. Then I did my homework. Then I helped Luke with his. He didn't care much, slouched over, half listening. Then he suddenly remembered something and held up my ID card. Jennifer, you're in high school. Why are you only 14? I thought about it and answered seriously. I skipped grades in elementary. Never went to kindergarten. Started first grade at 6, then transferred straight to 3rd grade. So I'm 2 years younger than everyone. Geez, what was the rush? My parents said I had to start working at 16. When I was little, I figured if I could get into college before 16, I wouldn't have to work. But high school still costs money, and my parents wanted me to drop out and get a job. They said outside the house, no one would care how old I was. 14 was old enough to earn money. Luke was quiet for a long time. Then he let out a bitter laugh. 14. Your parents are something else. I originally planned to find a part-time job during National Day, but no one hires under 16s. I ended up finding a gig pasting up flyers 80 yuan a day. Luke didn't have anything better to do, so he found a part-time job too, catching people who were pasting up flyers. I worked half a day before Luke caught me and gave me a long lecture. After we finished, I got 80 yuan, and Luke got 120. I looked at my 80, then at his 120. He raised an eyebrow and stuffed his into his pocket. I hesitated a bit, then handed him mine. Luke, my treat. He froze, then finally took the 80 yuan. At the corner restaurant near his neighborhood, we got 2 bowls of noodles, 1 plate of steamed dumplings, 1 plate of buns, 40 yuan in total. I don't remember the rest, just that I was really full that day. With the weekend and National Day combined, I worked 6 days in total. After the meal, I had 440 yuan. The day school started again was the happiest day for me. I finally got my student aid. I had scraped together 20 yuan, and I counted it again and again. Later, I borrowed Luke's phone. He asked why. I borrowed my high school tuition from the girl next door. I need to pay her back. He blinked. How much? 1,500. After paying her back, I had 500 left. That was enough for a month. I could still pick up weekend gigs. Things started looking up. I even bought myself a new backpack. The old one was worn out and tied together in 3 or 4 places. The new one was 20 yuan online, bigger, could hold more. Luke saw it and sighed. We were desk mates. He still brought me meals from time to time. Said his mum made too much anyway. Luke was a genuinely good guy, and his mum was a good person too. After school started back up, every meal Luke brought me had a fried egg in it, the kind with chopped scallions sprinkled on top. One weekend, Luke asked. "You going home this week?" I shook my head. "My mom won't let me." "Perfect. Pack your stuff this afternoon, come to my place." Our school had a strict 6 to 9 schedule class from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., 6 days a week. Saturday afternoon marked the start of our weekend. I packed up after class at 5 and left with Luke. Only when we arrived did I find out his cousin was getting married. Preparations had already started the night before. I helped out with Luke that evening, then joined the big potluck dinner. That night, I slept with his younger cousin. Around midnight, I got up and found Luke playing video games in the living room. I walked over. He saw me, turned off his phone, and asked, "What's wrong? Why aren't you sleeping?" "Can't sleep." "Why?" He scratched his head and sighed. "My mum's been pushing me to study abroad, says I won't amount to much here with my grades." He stared down at his phone. I didn't pry, but when I got back to bed, I found myself staring at the ceiling, wondering once Luke leaves, who'll I eat with when I'm hungry? The next morning, we got up early to pick up the bride. I rode in a car with Luke's younger cousin. It was a traditional Chinese wedding. The bride had bright eyes, perfect teeth, a phoenix crown and ceremonial robe. I was mesmerized. Then her mom smiled and handed me a red envelope. In that moment, I understood why Luke brought me. The girls helping with the bride got 200 yuan red envelopes and a nice meal. Luke was part of the groomsmen, tall, long-legged, in a suit, every strand of hair in place. I chewed on a candy while watching him stand tall on stage. Then he waved at me to come over. I ran over and he shoved a handful of chocolates into my hand. "Come on, come on! I'll carry your backpack and take you backstage for snacks." Then he stopped mid-sentence and grinned at me. "Who did your hair and makeup? That little puffy dress and those double buns, you look like you're cosplaying Xiao Chao." "Who's Xiao Chao?" "A game character. Actually, not bad." I didn't get it, just opened a chocolate and started chewing. Luke had a phase where he studied really hard, but it didn't last. He gave up again. He was too lazy. I kept copying notes for him every day. I'd take my own notes during class, then copy his after. When I had downtime, I'd nibble on a bun and read. My drawer was always stuffed with buns. I ate when I was hungry. I wasn't the only one. Lots of classmates were always hungry. We had breakfast at 7, lunch at noon. But that was peak growth age, so by 10, most of us were starving. The school didn't steam many buns, so when I had one, Luke would ask for a bite. Then the classmate in front would want some. Then the one behind. It became routine. I'd break off a piece, then pass the rest forward. After a full circle, what came back was a few spicy strips or half a pack of dried noodles. High school was hectic. Non-stop assignments, test prep, practice books that never seemed to end. Time flew by. Right after New Year's, my first semester of high school ended. It was almost Lunar New Year, but I still couldn't go home. I didn't want to fight with my mom, but I still wanted to study. I was young but stubborn. I believed that if I kept going to school, then life wouldn't just be about working. I didn't go home for the New Year. A factory that was rushing orders kept me on. 12-hour shifts, 100 yuan a day. I worked 20 days and got 2,000. On New Year's Eve, the factory closed. Luke came to pick me up on his scooter. We circled half the city. The river at the edge of town had frozen solid. People were ice skating and setting off fireworks. They didn't sparkle much in daylight, but they were pretty enough. We played until evening when all the shops started closing. Luke took me to his family's old house to celebrate. There were 70 or 80 relatives gathered. 6 tables for New Year's Eve dinner. I blended into the crowd, no one questioned it. No one noticed me. When it came time for New Year's greetings, all the kids knelt. Luke pushed me down to kneel too. The adults handed out red envelopes, and I got one too. In the dim courtyard, someone looked at me suspiciously but gave me one anyway. Then I heard someone ask, "Who's that girl?" "I don't recognize her." "Oh, her." Luke brought her. Probably a cousin from his mum's side. I wasn't anyone's cousin. My face turned red, and I ran over and shoved the envelope into Luke's hands. He had been figuring out how to light fireworks and flinched. "Jennifer, why are you giving me money?" "It's from your family, I can't take it." He stuffed it back into my coat pocket. "It's yours. Keep it. Step back, I'm lighting them now." First came firecrackers, then a burst of colorful fireworks. Everyone gathered around. Luke pulled me by the collar to stand farther back. "Jennifer, want to make a wish? It's a new year. I want to be first in the whole school." "Dummy. You're not supposed to say your wish out loud." "Really? Then I'll make a new one." In the new year, I wanted to be just as happy as last year and for Luke to stay. But the truth is, you only get one wish per year. The second one doesn't count. Luke left that summer after freshman year. I was working at a convenience store when he came by to buy a pack of cigarettes. I was shocked. "You smoke now?" He looked puzzled. "Come on. Our class is full of good kids. But did you really think I was one of them?" Our class was one of the school's top-tier classes. Very strict. Everyone got in through testing, except Luke. He was the only one who was placed in the class. That day, he was smoking outside the convenience store. I asked if he'd eaten. I told him I was great at grilling buns. Did he want one? He said sure, so I made one for him. He stubbed out his cigarette. The bun was so hot he had to keep switching hands. Once it cooled a bit, he sat next to me and slowly nibbled at it. When he finished, he wiped his mouth elegantly, then looked up. "Jennifer, how much?" I shook my head. "It's on me." He smiled, then reached into his pocket and placed 325 yuan on the counter. "All right then, thanks. But take this." I panicked. "This is way too much." "Keep it. You won't be seeing me again. Jennifer, goodbye." Then he hopped on his scooter and rode off. I stared at the money, stunned. It took a while to register. Luke was really leaving. For a long time, I felt a little sad. Maybe because no one was going to bring me food anymore. My second year of high school was quiet. I studied during school and picked up part-time gigs whenever I could. When I couldn't, I just went to the library to study. As long as I had enough to eat, I could survive. Now and then, I'd look up and notice all the silk trees planted around the city. Their pink flowers fell like tassels, sweet-smelling. That was the same scent as Luke's laundry detergent, soft and sweet when you leaned in. My third year, I saw my mom on the first day of school. She wanted to take me home. Said something had happened at home. I didn't want to go. I shook her off and stumbled straight to the head teacher. He blocked her, asked her what was so urgent. I was in senior year. It wasn't a good time for leave. In the end, my mom couldn't say anything. She just glared at me viciously. I watched her walk away, feeling an ominous chill. Much later, I understood why. Senior year meant no summer or winter breaks, only extra classes. I couldn't work part-time, but the head teacher helped me get extra school aid on top of my scholarship, free meals, no tuition. I didn't leave campus all semester. My mom never came again. On exam day, school buses took us to different test centers. After the first exam, I saw my dad outside. He tried to grab me. I broke free and ran into the security office. I didn't eat lunch that day. Sat in there for 2 hours, too scared to step outside, just reading. Only when the bus came after the exam did I finally breathe again. The exams lasted 2 days. When it was all over, I felt free. I looked up at the blue sky. Someone outside the test center was handing out watermelon. I was so hungry, I ate 6 slices. On the ride back to school, I saw my dad again. I hadn't seen him much. He was always away for work. Even when he came home, he rarely spoke. But I was terrified of him. When my mom hit me, it was because I was disobedient. When my dad hit me, it felt like he actually wanted me dead. I tried to run that day, but didn't make it. He grabbed me like a chick and threw me into a beat-up van. I cried out once, and he slapped me. A passerby looked over, but by then the van door was shut and locked. I shrank back inside and timidly whispered, Dad? He gave me a cold glance. Sit still. The van drove farther and farther, winding through mountain roads. I forced a smile. Dad, where are we going? Don't want to work. I'm sending you off to get married. Get married. I stared blankly out the window. The van climbed deep into the mountains, the woods outside thick and impenetrable. My parents were clever. Once I graduated, the school would no longer be responsible. Even if I went missing, no one would call the police or come looking for me. That day, I asked a question I'd been holding in for years. Dad, am I your biological child? Yeah. Then why don't you and Mom love me? He spat. Ungrateful brat. You think raising you was easy. You've got younger siblings, you're the oldest. If you don't marry, where's the money to feed them or send them to school? But if I go to college, I can earn more for you. Forget college. Even if you go, you might never come back. The van finally stopped. I was very obedient, walked in when told, smiled when told, let strangers size me up like merchandise. Later, someone handed my dad 100, 0 yuan. I stayed in the mountains for half a month, waking early to cook every day. Then one morning around 4 a.m., I got up while it was still dark. I headed south through the thickest forest. Home was in the north. They'd expect me to go back, but I didn't. I had 2 buns in my pocket and walked non-stop for 4 days. Then I ran into 2 hikers. They saw me. Along the way, I'd thought I might die. But in the end, I lived. The 2 hikers were going to take me to the police. But on the road, I couldn't help but ask, "Do you have a computer?" They asked why. I said I wanted to check my exam results. They stared at me in shock. In the end, they took me in. Said no student fresh out of exams could be a bad person. Even if they sent me to the police, I'd probably just be returned home. Better to stay with them for 2 months, then head to college. They were a young couple with their own business. Their daughter was 5, sweet and well-behaved. Her name was Isabel. I helped take care of her. They had weekends off and took me along on trips. Halfway through summer, they said they had to go abroad for work and asked if I'd come too to help with Isabel. My eyes lit up. I got a passport, a tourist visa, and flew with them. After landing, they went off for business, and I took Isabel to find Luke. I knew his address. I didn't have a phone, but he'd written me once and the address was in the letter. That day, I knocked. When Luke opened the door, I froze. His shirt was only half buttoned, abs showing, lipstick on his neck. He looked stunned. Jennifer? Oh, yeah, it's me. I was holding Isabel. Behind him, a woman in lacy nightwear walked out and asked in fluent English, "Who's this?" Luke gritted his teeth. My wife and daughter came to visit me. I what? He said I was his what? I panicked and clutched Isabel tighter. She was so stunned she stopped eating her ice cream. The woman frowned. Aren't you 18? We Asians marry young. She scowled and stormed off, leaving just me and Luke. He looked at me, yanked me inside, slammed the door, and exhaled hard. Once inside, Isabel started wandering around on her own. I looked at Luke and couldn't help but ask, "Did I come at a bad time?" "No, you came at the perfect time." Luke's eyes were red, like he was about to cry. "Jennifer, your brother almost got assaulted." "Wow! Non-consensual lovey. Jennifer!" He was furious. I stopped messing around and asked seriously, "What happened?" I got into a relationship. I didn't think much of it," she confessed. I said okay. Then today she said she wanted to come over and hang out. And then? She didn't mean hang out on the couch, she meant on top of me. Said she wanted to drug me. She does boxing. I can't beat her. He almost lost his innocence. Luke clutched his head, squatting in despair. He'd been living here for 2 years, and there had been plenty of breakdowns, but never like this. That day, Luke decided to move. I went apartment hunting with him while holding Isabel. He found a new place closer to campus. After settling down, he finally relaxed and teased Isabel. "Where'd you steal this kid?" "Wow. Just now it was all wife and daughter. And now you're saying I stole her?" Luke choked on his words, then muttered, "Jennifer, you're getting sassier by the day." I didn't reply. That evening, Isabel's parents came to pick us up. Luke insisted on treating them to dinner, said it was rare to meet familiar faces in a foreign country. I didn't care, I just wanted to know when dinner was. After we ate, Luke added me on WeChat. Once we connected, he sighed, saying he finally had a way to reach me. It wasn't that he hadn't wanted to before, I just didn't have a phone. He took me around for 2 days. Then we left. Late August was the hottest part of summer. Isabel's parents helped me prep for school. Before we left, they stuffed 2 0 yuan into my luggage. I tried to refuse, they'd already sheltered me for 2 months, and I was beyond grateful. But they still tucked it into my suitcase. When I said goodbye to Isabel, she cried. She didn't understand what goodbyes meant, just that she wouldn't see me tomorrow. I did well in the college entrance exam. Not Tsinghua or Peking University, but still a very good 211 university. My old high school helped me apply for a scholarship 50 yuan. In college, I got scholarships for 2 years, student aid for 2 years, and worked on campus jobs. In sophomore year, I opened an online shop, offering services like making PPTs and writing self-reflections. Even though I earned money in dribs and drabs, it was enough to live on, and I even saved a bit. Luke and I didn't talk often, but he regularly sent me snacks. Even after I graduated, he asked for my new address and kept sending things. After graduation, I didn't return to that city. I moved to Shanghai, the most bustling metropolis, where even the air smelled like money. I saw Luke again a year after starting work. He was in town on business. He asked me out to eat. I paid. He looked me up and down and joked, "You're only 21? You look so grown up. What do you think? I'm 21 already." After dinner, he said I looked too plain and dragged me to the mall. First stop was a gold store. He browsed and finally picked out a bracelet. I was shocked. "Are you crazy? A bracelet? As a reunion gift?" He frowned. "You live in Shanghai. Why dress so plainly? Look at other girls. They're all wearing gold and jade, lipstick Chanel. And you? So what?" "I bought this t-shirt for 9.8 yuan with free return insurance." He laughed angrily. "Jennifer, are you nuts? 9.8? That's not even enough for a budget lunch." I didn't say anything. He went ahead and picked out several pairs of earrings and 4 or 5 outfits, then swiped his card. "Jennifer, you're a young woman. Dress nicely. You'll be dating in Shanghai. You're getting married someday. Don't let people look down on you." I stared at my shoes, not knowing what to say. Later, I took him to the airport, then walked home alone with bags of clothes. At home, I hung up the clothes and looked at the bracelet on my wrist. It was a sleek, modern design, not gaudy despite being gold. In fact, it looked elegant. I put away the bracelet and the earrings before changing clothes. The outfit I was wearing had actually been specially bought 300 yuan for a dress and cover-up. It looked decent, but the quality wasn't great. No comparison to Luke's 2 600 yuan set. Luke was a good person with good taste, but he was too high up. When I was a kid, I didn't understand what kind of background Luke had. Just knew his family was rich and influential. In high school, his parents were strict, afraid he'd go astray. They even limited his spending and made him bring meals from home. Back then, we worked part-time together, and I thought we weren't that far apart. But now I realize at school, I could call him Luke. Outside of school, I'd have to call him Mr. Dawson. And today, Luke spent 80 in a single day. I stared blankly at those clothes. Luke treated me well. But if I liked Luke, that wouldn't be gratitude, it would be betrayal. Any small hidden feelings vanished. Sometimes I wished Luke were dirt poor, so I could swoop in and save him. I'd proudly tell him, "Stick with me, I'll take care of you. I make over 0 a month." But Luke wasn't poor, and I couldn't take care of him. I went to work and came home each day. Maybe because it was Shanghai, Luke came on business trips often. I always treated him to dinner. Sometimes his friends joined too, a dozen people at a big table. I didn't mind. While they chatted, I just focused on eating. Later, Luke started dating someone. His girlfriend liked shopping in Shanghai. So I treated Luke, his girlfriend, his friends, and her friends to meals. Eventually, everyone knew Luke and I were close. But no one suspected anything, because Luke really did see me as a sister. His gaze had no ulterior motives. Even though I was the host, Luke paid for the bigger occasions. Much later, I stopped thinking about Luke. I got into a relationship. My boyfriend was named Liao Xing. He was my team lead. Like me, he was one of Shanghai's 3 no people. No house, no car, no local residency. His best trait was that he was genuinely kind. I noticed it from the start. He was gentle and emotionally steady. I'd been in Shanghai over a year and never once saw him get angry. I liked people like that, calm and thoughtful. We dated for 6 months. Luke met him once or twice and said I had good taste. Said he seemed decent. But in the end, I broke up with Liao Xing. He was gentle to me and to everyone else. The longer we dated, the more insecure I felt. We weren't compatible. It was tiring being together. So, we ended it. I quit my job too and moved from Shanghai to Shenzhen. Luke called to comfort me. "Don't be too upset. That's how love goes. Date a few, break up a few, eventually you'll find the right one." I sighed over the phone. "Luke, I don't want to date anymore. Or get married. I just keep thinking even if I did get married, there wouldn't be real love. It'd just be settling. Spending a lifetime making compromises. I'd rather stay single." He was silent for a long time before finally saying, "That just means you haven't met the right one yet." "What right one?" I hung up, even more deflated. I really had no expectations left for love. I stayed in Shenzhen for half a year. Luke visited a few times, probably to comfort me after the breakup. One time he brought me a set of Cartier jewelry. I didn't even recognize it at first and just left it by the door. Luke looked at me helplessly. "Jennifer, put it somewhere safe. That set cost over 200,000. I freaked out, rushed over to hug the jewelry box like it was sacred. "Dude, why would you give me something so expensive?" "How was I supposed to know you didn't even recognize Cartier? I figured with a price tag like that, any girl would love it." "All right, my bad." Hugging the box, I suddenly started laughing. "Thanks. By the way, when are you getting married?" He avoided my eyes. "I'm not. We broke up." I blinked. "Why?" "She was too expensive. She'd spend at least a few $100,000 a month. I couldn't keep up. The world of the rich was beyond me. After all, I was working 996 shifts every week and barely making 200,000 to 300,000 a year, and I thought I was doing great. "Jennifer, are you free next Saturday?" "Why?" "Remember my cousin? The one you helped pick up the bride for?" I nodded. I remembered she was gorgeous. "Next Saturday's her daughter's 1-month banquet. Come by if you can." "Where?" "Beijing. She transferred there 2 years ago." "All right. Dress nicely, okay? None of those 9.6 yuan t-shirts with free shipping." "Got it." "Don't worry. And wear the Cartier set too. Forget it. It's worth a fortune. I'd cry if I lost it. Wear it. If you lose it, I'll buy you a new one." After Luke left, I stared at the jewelry, stunned. Holy crap, over 200,000? He could have just robbed me instead of giving me metal flakes. The day of his cousin's party, I flew in a day early. As soon as I arrived, I saw Luke. He was smoking at the entrance. When he saw me, he waved. "Over here." He drove steadily, but unfortunately, we got stuck halfway on an overpass. A 7-car pile-up, apparently. I'd pulled an all-nighter to finish a project before my flight and could barely keep my eyes open. Once the car stopped in traffic, I dozed off in the passenger seat. I didn't know how long I slept, just that when I opened my eyes, it was dark, and we were parked in an underground garage. I looked around, dazed. Luke was sitting beside me, gaming with his headphones in. I checked my phone. 4 hours had passed. Are we here? My voice came out hoarse. Why didn't you wake me? You were out cold. When did you sleep last night? You look exhausted. I looked wearily out the window. Pulled an all-nighter. Figures. Come on, crash at my place. Wait, isn't this your cousin's place? Nah, my family moved to Beijing too. Didn't I tell you? I was shocked. What? Are your parents home? I didn't bring a gift. No, this is my own place. Just me here. That was a relief. I followed him upstairs, still groggy in the elevator. Inside, the apartment had a cool-toned palette, mostly black and white. Very tidy. Guest room's not ready. You can sleep in my room. It's fine. I'll clean it up myself. All right then. Fighting off sleep, I walked into the second bedroom. Sure enough, it was empty, not even a blanket. Do you have any bedding? In the closet. Sheets? In my room's closet. Hang on, I'll help. Luke made the bed and went to shower. By the time I finished setting everything up, I wasn't sleepy anymore and curled up on the couch to watch TV. Luke came out in pajamas, still damp from his shower. As he leaned closer, I jumped. Why are you so close? Trying to steal my chips? He froze. His hair was still wet. As a drop ran down, he chuckled. Jennifer, seriously, you'll guard food with your life, huh? What's wrong with guarding food? I kept crunching on my chips. Luke pulled up a stool beside the couch. Hold still. I didn't know what he was doing, but I stayed still. He removed my hair clip and gently twisted my hair in his fingers. He didn't touch me directly, but I could feel it between the strands. What are you doing? Styling your hair. Learned how to do a hairpin twist a few days ago. Don't pull my scalp off. Not everyone's as clumsy as you. He finished the style. I got up, looked in the mirror, and gave him a thumbs up. Nice work. Jennifer, go put on that chapeau. I'll take you out for dinner. Okay. I changed into the outfit moon-white silk with rhinestone-embellished pointed heels. I walked a few steps in front of the mirror. This dress really flattered curves. I admired myself for a while, until I heard footsteps outside. I called out, Luke, can you grab the Cartier set for me? But before I finished, a sharp female voice rang out. Luke, who's in your room? What slut is seducing you? I knew our breakup wasn't just about money. You didn't care when I spent all your money before. Jessica, get out. We're over. I'm not leaving. I want to see who you've got in there. You wouldn't buy me Cartier, but you buy it for someone else. Get out. But Luke didn't stop her in time. The moment she burst into the room, Jessica yelled, Where's the girl? I swear I heard someone. She flung open the closet, no one. Checked under the bed, nothing. Behind the door, still nothing. After a full round, she left, fuming. Luke locked the door, walked into the room, and opened a hidden door. I was crouched behind it with my shoes in hand, nearly in tears. That scared the hell out of me. Luke laughed, exasperated, and gently pulled me down. Jennifer, why are you hiding behind the AC unit? I don't know. But the second Jessica came in, I felt like a mistress getting caught. I had to hide. I already broke up with Jessica. Teary-eyed, I said, Right, you and I have nothing going on. So why was I hiding? Who says we have nothing going on? Huh? Are you saying I am the mistress? Shut up. I'm single. You're single. There is no third party. I was confused. My brain had shut down. Luke stopped trying to explain and just sighed. Let's go. Go where? I rebooked a Burberry set goes better with a chapeau. For the next day's birthday banquet, Luke took me to get my hair done. It took forever. We got back late. I was so tired I couldn't keep my eyes open. Halfway through the walk, he grabbed my collar and practically dragged me back to the bedroom. I went to the guest room, but Luke dragged me back to the master bedroom. He sighed softly. The guest bed's broken. You sleep in my room. I'll take the couch. Oh. I locked the door and fell asleep. In the middle of the night, I suddenly woke up. I opened the door and walked over to the couch. Luke saw me and, half asleep, asked, "Why aren't you sleeping?" I scratched my head. "Luke, what did you mean by what you said earlier?" In that moment, Luke fully woke up. In the dark, he looked at me for a long time before answering. It didn't mean anything. Just something I said offhand. I let out a long breath and laughed. Scared me to death. I suddenly thought you were confessing to me earlier. I turned to leave, but just as I stood up, he grabbed my wrist. "Jennifer!" I stopped. Didn't turn around. Didn't speak. "Jennifer, the guest bed isn't broken. I just wanted you to sleep in my room." "Oh." I looked down at the floor. "Jennifer, I didn't mean it like that. I wasn't trying to do anything. It's just the thought of you sleeping in my room makes me inexplicably happy. Just knowing I'll wake up and see you tomorrow makes me happy. It doesn't feel like you're a guest. Luke, don't you want to sleep with me?" I looked down at him. He froze, instinctively denying. "That's not what I meant." "Then let's sleep together." He went still. After a long pause, I heard him laugh. "Jennifer, you're so smart. You already knew, didn't you?" "No, you didn't say anything. How would I know? It's just, we've seen each other so often. I started to wonder if maybe you liked me a little too." "Then why did you date someone? Why did you introduce your boyfriend to me?" "How could you do that to me? Jennifer, you can't hurt me too. You had a girlfriend too." "She wasn't real. I never did anything. I didn't like her. I didn't even know what liking someone meant. I was just scared of the whole relationship thing. Wanted to see if I could get over it." "Luke." "Yeah? I really like you. Don't hide. Don't be scared." That day, after the banquet, I saw Mrs. Dawson for the first time in years. The moment she saw me, she recognized me. "Jennifer, is that you?" "Yes, ma'am. It's been a long time. You look even more elegant now." Mrs. Dawson smiled. Luke took after his mum clean cut, with a touch of pride in his features. Mrs. Dawson asked, "When can you come over for dinner?" I smiled brightly. "Definitely, ma'am. And thank you for all those meals and fried eggs back in the day." "Oh, those eggs I almost forgot. Luke made those. He thought it was embarrassing and wouldn't let me tell anyone." "Mum, what are you talking about?" Luke walked over and casually threw an arm over my shoulder. "Mrs." Dawson looked at him, then at me, then smiled. "You should bring her home for dinner sometime. This girl still remembers the eggs from years ago." After Mrs. Dawson left, Luke looked a little stunned. After a while, he leaned over and rubbed his head against my hair. "Jennifer." I turned around, stood on tiptoe, wrapped my arms around his neck, and gave him a kiss. His face turned beet red. "What are you doing, you hooligan? You didn't like it? Then I won't kiss you next time." I liked it. Luke pulled me into a quiet corner. Between breaths, he held me close. "Jennifer, why didn't I fall in love with you sooner?" "If you had, it wouldn't have worked. Back then we were broke and starving. Even if you'd stood naked in front of me, all I'd be thinking about was where to find lunch." He laughed quietly, resting his chin in the crook of my neck, fingers laced with mine. "I love you."